This tutorial will walk you through the New Hampshire State Council on the Arts online application for youth arts projects for creative development. This tutorial assumes that you've already created a free account at submittable.com and have logged into the system. Before we get into the form, there are a few things you should know about Submittable. First, it is strongly recommended that you complete the application using Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. If you don't have either of these browsers, they're easy to find with an internet search. Second, the Submittable system is very stable and it will automatically save your application as you're working on it, but we do recommend that you save your application manually every 15 minutes or so, just in case. There's a Save Draft button at the bottom of the application that you can scroll down to. Once you've saved your application, you can continue working on it or sign out. Third, your application will remain active for 21 days from your last login. And finally, saving your application isn't the same thing as submitting on it. You will need to click the Submit button at the end of the application for us to receive it. Because you'll be attaching documents to the online application, it's always best to complete them and save them on your computer before you start the application. There are 7 parts to the online application, and I'll go through each one. Fields marked with asterisks are required, and the system won't let you submit your application if they aren't filled out. This is really important. So the first section is the applicant data, and this is where you're going to enter the applicant's information. If the applicant is being sponsored by a fiscal agent, the fiscal agent's information goes here. If the applicant is applying in partnership with another organization, please include the information for the lead organization only. Most of this is pretty straightforward, but there are a few things that I want to point out. First is this codes area. Our partner, the National Endowment for the Arts, requires these codes. And you're actually going to do this twice in the application. Once here in the applicant information area, and then once in the project information area. Please note that there is a code for non-arts organizations. This is particularly helpful for fiscal sponsors. A Dun & Bradstreet DUNS number is required of all applicants, and it must match the applicant's name. Check this box for verification if the applicant organization serves a student body at or above 40% free or reduced lunch. And we do require government certification letters if you get a grant. So it's a good idea to have them easily accessible ahead of time. We require the New Hampshire Attorney General Letter of Good Standing, the Certificate of Good Standing from the New Hampshire Secretary of State, and the applicant's IRS determination letter. And so you're going to need to click these boxes. The next section, the payment section, should only be filled out if payment is going to be made to someone other than the applicant. Same thing with the contact person site coordinator. Only fill this out if the contact person is different from the authorized official that was listed in the applicant data section. Now we get to the grant request information. This is the section where you'll enter information about your project. First, indicate whether we have funded this project before. Then enter all of the requested information and choose a code for the arts discipline for the project. Our partner, the National Endowment for the Arts, requires a lot of demographic information. And so you need to answer these questions as best you can. If you have questions, please reach out to the grant coordinator because that person will be able to help you. If you're booking artists from one of our artist rosters, please enter their names in this box and tag them with the appropriate roster. Now on to section 5, which is about accessibility. Each grantee has to assure us that they're in compliance with the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 and the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. This section asks a series of questions about accessibility and it does require, a completed National Endowment for the Arts brief accessibility checklist. And so you will upload that completed document here. And the link to that document is right here. So you upload that document, answer all of these questions, and then you can move on to the document upload section. Each grant program requires that you upload certain documents, and please read the guidelines very carefully because, as I said earlier, it's a good idea to have all of your required documents ready before you begin the application. Attaching documents to the application is just like attaching something to an email or uploading a file to Facebook, a photo to Facebook. Click Choose Files, go to the place on your computer where the file is, click it, click Open, and it will be attached to your application. It's that simple. I want to say something about files. We prefer them in PDF format because that way there's no way they can be inadvertently edited. All word processing programs include an easy Save as PDF option, and spreadsheets can be saved as PDFs using the program's print dialog. We actually have a video tutorial about that. It's on the grant page. So if you don't know how to do that, watch that little video. So you will attach your documents. You can see what's required and what isn't here. And then when we get to financial statements, I just want to say a word here. What we're looking for here is the applicant organization's most recent end of fiscal year financial statement. We don't want your 990 or your audit, just the statement that the board approved. If you have questions about this, contact the coordinator of the grant program. Finally, after you've uploaded all of the required documents, you come to your electronic signature. That's what this certification is. So click Agree, type in your name, your title, and you are almost done. Once you've completed everything, you can click the Submit button. When you do that, your application will be submitted and the system will send you a confirmation email. If the system won't let you submit your application, you probably haven't answered all of the required questions, so you may have to scroll up and see what you missed. So that's it. Please let us know if you have questions. We look forward to seeing your application. Thanks.